Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So today I'm going to talk about Champagne Coupes. Yeah, this is a Champagne Coupe. There's flutes, which are the tall, slim ones, and this is like the short, fat ones. And they're kind of like, I would say, glamorous as opposed to elegant. Yeah. And but they are from, well, the shape originated in the mid 18th century. So yeah, I've been doing a bit of studying, and I've got some pictures of some of those early ones. So yeah, but I don't actually own any because my collection is not that good. But I do have quite a lot of Champagne Coupes to show you. What I thought I would do is run through some catalogues and bits and pieces that I've got. There is a bit of a gap, so I've got these pictures of 18th century ones, and then this kind of like jumps forward into the middle of the 19th century. One thing I did notice going forward, so in the 19th century, it seems like a lot of the things that I'm looking at, they seem to have or at least in the Victorian era, because I've not been able to find anything in the first half of the 19th century. In the Victorian era, every service, a lot of the services have a champagne to go with them. And as you go into the 20th century, it seems to go the other way around. I mean, like Webb Corbett, I was going through their 1910 catalogue, and they've got like there's about 10 different services in the catalogue, but there's only 2 of them have got champagnes. So yeah, it seems to, and even Whitefriars going right to the end, only one of their services had champagne. So yeah, it became, I think, less common, although I think Stuart made them a lot. So it's like up and down what services had them and what services didn't. Yeah, so yeah, that's my research, my knowledge that I'm giving you now that I've just learned today. Anyway, let's get on. I'll show you some pictures, I'll show you a few catalogue pages, and then we'll dive into having a look at some glass. Looking at a page from the book 18th Century English Drinking Glasses by L.M. Bickerton, and 1830 is the earliest that it's got any dated champagne glasses. I picked this page because it's got 2 next to each other, and they look, this one's like an OG's, which is a bit unusual shape. Champagne is not normally like this. There are others like this, but yeah, they're roughly like Champagne Coupes are, but they've got the fashionable stems of the time. So yeah, the next picture I'm going to look at is a little bit later. This one looks particularly like a lot of the later champagne, but these have got domed feet, which is fashionable at the time. So this one's 1745 and this one is 1755. So yeah, this type of glass was going, nearly 230 years ago. Oh, nearly 300 years. What am I saying? Nearly 300 years ago. So yeah, that's quite a long time. But I don't know if there are any being made today. I will check some of the very latest catalogues because I haven't actually done that. We're looking at a page from the Whitefriars Glassworks, or James Powell and Son doing a catalogue from 1860. This is on the whitefriarsglassworks.com website. And yeah, so if you look at this, there's like each side has got like a mirroring surface, but the middle glasses are the champagnes. The problem with this page is I can't make it bigger. So it is what it is. Hang on, let me just check that. No, that didn't do anything. That's no good. So anyway, this is the size of it. What's interesting here is this one that's like a little bucket one to go with all the bucket type glasses. And you'll see why later, but you've got a couple here, which you've got, this one in particular, got a faceted stem with a little rounded bottom there. All of these glasses have got little rounded bottoms with faceted stems. They get quite thin here. And you'll see later why I'm pointing that out. Looking at a page from the Webb Corbett 1910 catalogue. Now, this catalogue has got a pile of glass services in it, but these are the only two which have actually got champagnes in them. This one and this one. They're quite fancy dancy ones. Again, this is not a rounded shape, it's kind of a bit more buckety. And yeah, so sort of like 2 out of 10. It doesn't seem to be a very high proportion that have champagnes. Oh, and I've downloaded this from the Glass Moustache website. We're looking at the Stuart Crystal catalogue for 1964. You can get your copy of this from the Stuart Crystal Collectors Facebook group in the files section. And this is quite a good catalogue because it actually gives you every shape for each pattern. And what you see here is that they've all got champagnes. Now, I was looking at the 1939 one to see, but yeah, there was like about 2 champagne shown, but it's not doing this where it's showing you every single shape. I don't know if it's not showing you champagnes because they don't do them, or if it's because they're just not showing you them. But here, everything's got a champagne. If you look, that's actually the one there for Ariel, but here it is. And as you just work your way down, there it is. And again, and I could just keep going, but you get the idea. Everything's got one. So yeah, even one which is like, this one's reduced numbers compared to some of the others. Look at all these glasses. This has got less and still got a champagne. So champagne, as far as Stuart Crystal was concerned, was a Champagne Coupe was an essential piece of kit. So anyway, let's go and have a look at something else. Looking at the Whitefriars 1969 catalogue downloaded from the whitefriarsglassworks.com website. And not every service here, even though they're showing you all the shapes, has Champagne Coupe. So you can see there's one here. Then if I go forward, there's one here. And then there's none with this service. But it's back again here. So yeah, I think that there's not that many services here. Yeah, it's going on to do other things. And at the end of the range in 1980, there is only one Champagne Coupe that you could possibly buy from, at least as far as the catalogue is concerned anyway. We're looking at the Stuart Crystal 1999 catalogue. And yeah, this is the story of how the worm has turned. So they've got this, they're calling it Saucer Champagne. White Star Line, which is a reproduction of something from 1910. But if we scroll, we have to scroll quite a way. Let's see if I can get to it quite quickly. Yes, I think we're nearly there now. Are we nearly there? Hang on, go back a bit, back. I've gone too far. I'm probably messing this film up now. Getting to the wrong place. Here we go. Look at this. It's all flutes. Champagne flutes. Yes. So, and then if I scroll back down again to where we were looking earlier, and we look at the services. So we've got the Shaftesbury and the Manhattan service. Champagne flutes. So it looks like saucers or coupes are going out of fashion. Look, flutes is no. Everybody's got a flute. So see here, got more flutes, no champagne saucers or coupes. Another pattern, flutes again. We got to the end yet? More flutes. Yeah, that's the end. So yeah, looks like by the end of the 20th century, at least as far as Stuart Crystal was concerned, champagnes, coupes had gone out of fashion. I know people like Babycham were still making them, but that doesn't. Yeah, does that count? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it does seem like things have changed by the end of the 20th century. Now let's go on and have a look at some glass. So I'm starting out with a bit of the old Antiques Roadshow Good, Better, Best. And what these Champagne Coupes have got in common, or saucers, is that they've all got stars engraved on them. Now, to me it's obvious that one of them, the glass, is not the same quality as the other ones. And it's this one here. In fact, if I was to ping them across, listen to this. Yeah, then this one, and then this one. You can tell where the quality is. So we'll have a look at this one first. This is a 3-part glass. You can see, if I can get you to focus on it there, you can see where the stem is joined onto the bowl, and then the stem is joined onto the foot. It does have a polished pontal, but yeah, it's not genius engraving really, is it? And even if you look at the stars, they're not particularly well done, you know, so it looks right from a distance, and it is a bit like some of the ones in the catalogues now. This one is probably weighs twice as much. You can see how nicely the stars are done. This pattern here, this little crenellation pattern between two borders, quite nicely done. And also this is a 3-part glass. So these two could almost be any age in the second half of the 19th century. This one, I think, is in the 3rd quarter, because this way of putting the foot on, something sort of like came in the 1840s or 50s, and then. But do you remember when we were looking at the White Forest catalogue, and I was pointing out one where it had the bulbous bottom, then it had the faceted stem that went up to here, and it got very narrow. So this is very like, the pattern's different, obviously it's just stars, plainly done, but you can see they're really nicely done. But yeah, it's very high lead content. The pontal mark is nice and nicely done as well. I think this is from the same period as that catalogue. I think this is probably from 1850s or 60s or something like that. So this is the superior one, because this work here is just fantastic. That is so fine, that stem, to be cut like that. You know, this one is lucky to have survived as long as it has. So yeah, so that's the first 3 I'm going to show you. I'm going to show my worst Champagne Coupe now. So this one came with a part of other things. I didn't really buy it for itself. It's been languishing in the shed probably for the last 10 years. So I'll probably charity shop it after this, actually. It's not low quality. It's got a cut rim. And if you can see that there, that means it's probably Czech. This is just a transfer. I think all of this is hand painted, because I'm not sure how you'd get that transfer on like that and have it all join up, and it does all join up all the way around. So yeah, and the rim is painted gold as well. It is a 3-part, although it's difficult to see here, it is a 3-part one. That is a join there, just there. I can feel it with my thumbnail, I can't make it click, but that is a join just there. And yeah, but I don't know why I've hung on to that. I should really get rid of it, but I think it's Czech. It's probably from the 50s or 60s or something like that. So this is a really nice engraved one. It might be Whitefriars. Someone has said this pattern is Whitefriars, but the catalogue's not really sharp enough to tell. But yeah, it's got holly on it. It's a Christmas one. I don't know, but anyway. Yeah, and it is a three-parter. Does have a polished pontle there, and yeah, that's very nicely done engraving, and they've even kind of frosted it, but then they've polished it out a little bit, rubbed it so that the centre of the leaves are a bit clearer than the edges. So yeah, a little bit of work has gone into making this one. So this one here, this is a Thomas Webb fir cone pattern one. It's actually quite small. And the pattern is very, yeah, you have to catch it in the light right to really see that it is the fir cone pattern, but that's what it is. It doesn't appear in the ad. I haven't got a catalogue for this. This shape glass does appear in the adverts, but when I say this shape, this style with the inverted lip like this would fit nicely in the catalogue with the other wine glasses and sherries and all this kind of stuff. It just looks like it's part of the family. Pontle's not polished, but it is a nice quality thing. Yeah, so I'm happy that it is that. It just sits nicely with the other glasses. It's just got a wider bowl. So this is my best Champagne Coupe, I think. I've got a couple of these. And this is Whitefriars one. The pattern number is 2445, and it is in the 1931 catalogue. So here it is. It's got ribbed. You can see it's actually quite. You get a lot of champagne in that. I'll actually try to ring it. Yeah, listen to that. And the foot as well, look at how that's put together. There's no pontle mark on it, but it's super fine. Look how thin that is there in my hand. And yeah, it's super fine. I don't think too many of those have survived because it's so thin. I don't know when they first started making them. Don't know what year it's from or who the designer is, but it is in the catalogue. And what's funny is that they did coupes like this and flutes as well. But the flutes were kind of like fat flutes. In fact, I'll show you now. But anyway, this is my best champagne glass, I think. And we did use them once, and I got them at an antiques fair nearly 30 years ago for £3 each. Yeah, stole them. So this is the Whitefriars 1931 catalogue from the whitefriarsglassworks.com website. And here, look, here's the glass that we were looking at. And yeah, so they've got they've got a shallow and tall, they're calling them. And yeah, so this is the glass. I think I've got some white claret glasses that go with this. But anyway, this is the service. So there's only 6 in the service, but 2 types of champagne. That's how important the champagne was when you're at this end of the market. I nearly forgot one that we had that actually, this is one we use, although we're very careful with this one because it's the only one that's got a label on. So yeah, this is part of the service that we actually use for Christmas, etc. See, it's got the Stuart Great crystal label on it. I think this is probably a sort of like 1950s or 60s label. It is purely a paper label. It's not any kind of like plastic on it or anything like that. This is Woodchester pattern by Stuart Crystal, designed by Ludwig Knai in the 1930s. His design had little spots on it in the 1930s, but after the war these spots seem to have disappeared and make it a bit plainer. But if you think this was contemporary with the white furnace glass that we were looking at, it's a really different kettle of fish, isn't it? It's very different, more solid, still good quality, nice cutting. Yeah, I don't know. This is more of a sort of like straightforward Art Deco, and the others still probably hanging over from the aesthetic movement, Art Nouveau, that kind of thing. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Whether you like glamour of the coupe or the elegance of the flute, that's a choice. I've had to redo this bit actually because for some reason the camera wouldn't focus. It focused on my glass back here and not on me, and I look terrible, and I feel fairly terrible to tell the truth. But anyway, that aside, all the references I use will be in the description below. Please remember to like and subscribe because it helps my channel. And thank you for watching, and have a good night. Good night.